Right, good morning ladies and gentlemen. It's April the 16th. I'm going to do this a little bit the other way round. I'm going to show you the greenhouse, then the koi in the main pond, and then we'll go on to the front pond just to show you how I brought that on. Basically, I'm showing you what I've been doing since my last video regards filtration and that, but regards the garden, you can see these tomatoes here are coming on really well. I've repotted them. One of them is probably ready for repotting again, which you do have to do on a regular basis, I find. I always bury them a little bit deeper because they'll throw roots out from the stem. Got some cucumbers and courgettes in development. This is the mixed lettuce, which we have been using, but I'm going to have to thin it out. There's a bit too much in there. The peppers and the chilies are coming on. Again, start in a small pot, put them into a bigger pot, until you're satisfied they've got enough room to survive. Spring onions are coming on. Thinking of putting them outside. I might put them out for a couple hours today. Now this is your micro veg, and it does show, if you just give them fresher compost and a bit more room to grow, you'll see how these radishes have come on. In fact, I'll take one out. There you go. I don't know when the video was when I shown you putting these in, but just because they've got a little bit more room and better compost, the ones I put in the little tub, which I says they will grow, they not grow as big and they not grow as quickly. You can see them there. So you don't need really big pots to grow a lot of stuff. You can grow them in pretty much anything, you just don't get the same results. But I find for the micro veg, radishes and things like that, a bowl, an old bowl, as good as anything. In here I've put some runner beans, and basically what I do with them, because these are quite big tubs, if I show you in this one, instead of putting pieces of brick or terracotta potting, I put polystyrene. I put enough in so it's light enough if I have to move it to lift it up, and it drains just as well. You don't need that sort of weight. And if you look here, the strawberries, because they're inside and they've had the temperatures, we're starting to produce. If you look closely there, you can see that in the centre the strawberries starting to come. So hopefully in a couple of weeks we might have some strawberries off of that. The munch too, I put them in this corner with this mesh around because they can get quite high. They'll get to 4 foot. So I'm going to utilise the mesh on the back of the greenhouse, which is what I call my cucumber mesh. I let my cucumbers grow up that. And if you notice here, whether you can see it or not, this here, I've got 2 lines of baling string, and what I do with them, when I'm growing my tomatoes, I put the tomatoes in the pot, put a cane in the pot, fasten it to this, and then you see this little piece of cotton. I fasten them round me stems of my tomatoes to support them while they're growing up. I've left that one on there to show you, but I do use clean ones every year. The cucumbers are coming through quite nicely. This one here was the one what I thought was dying. And when I took it out of the pot, I was quite surprised that it had started growing some small roots, and I decided I'd repot it and let it have a go. Well, there were some small white roots on the stem, and I actually thought I'd drowned it. The slugs had a go, and then I thought I'd drowned it, which I told you last time. In here I'm growing some red lettuce. These are more tomatoes, and that there is my broccoli. The basil has started to come through, and I've actually had some of this off this morning. This is chives, and it's nice to take a few pieces off and put on your cheese on toast. Cook your cheese on toast under the grill. Last off, just shred a few chives onto it. Very tasty. And that's my mint, what I'm growing in here. This all will go outside. It goes on the patio up near the fence. It is a bit too shaded for them, but it just takes the blank, horrible looking fence, gives you something better to look at. The carrots aren't doing as well as I hoped. They still might come through. They take about 3 weeks. And more tomatoes. Obviously you've seen the radishes that are coming on, and that's spinach. I'll plant that out later on in the week if I get time. The beetroot's coming, but I think I drowned that because actually after my last video I went away for 6 days with grandchildren, so I think I drowned them before I went away, and they've suffered a little bit. These are potatoes that I now want earthing up, covering up a bit more. These will be going outside when I've done that. Out here now we've got more potatoes, which I have earthed up to the other day, and some of them have started coming through virtually straight away. As you can see, I've not mended the decking yet, not got round to it, not really had time. And here is some more potatoes. I haven't got any bags left, but what I'm going to do is, as I've done just there, I've used the old compost bags, turned them inside out, and when you do that you get the black, so that absorbs the heat when you start filling them up, helps them come along. But if you see on here, these have been in the window bottom in the bedroom and brought the chits on really well. These I've kept pretty much in dark. They're the same potato out of the same packet, but the chit hasn't come on so much because I've tried to hold them back so I can plant them and get some later potatoes. As I do with most stuff, I try and get it that I get a nice steady run of veg. The garlic's okay, that's doing alright. These were the first potatoes I put in. As you can see, I've earthed them all up now. This one just needs a little bit more in when I get more head through. What you do have to be careful of though is they do get frost damage. So again, if I haven't mentioned it before, you need to keep a bit of fleece at hand, especially I would say till middle of May. My dad used to say that after 1st of May you could plant your kidney beans and French beans out, but they can still get hit with the frost. These are the radishes that were doing really well. I don't know whether you can see it, but pigeons have been pecking at them. So I am having a problem with them this year. These are blueberries. They starting to come through, just starting to flower. And I've got red currants there, a strawberry there. But these normally do quite well. But I trim them back because when wife puts washing out, it knocks them flying. So across to here, still got these onions covered up, but really they should be all right now. The pigeons won't pull them out. These have come on really well. I've had to put that fencing over the beetroot because the pigeons have been pecking that, so I've made it so they can't really get in very well. When you transplant beetroot, it tends to flop. It tends to fall over. Don't worry about it. They will stand up again, and if they get too wet they do tend to change colour, so it's nothing really to worry about. As I say, I've put some potatoes in these bags just so I get a nice run through through season. I am looking now that I want to be cutting my grass. If we get back to the fish, I put a bit of treatment in this morning. I saw one of them flash and I'm a bit concerned, so I've just put a bit of treatment in to see if I can stop them doing that. Regards me filter system, I did have a change of mind. I moved that one the other day down to there and made sure it was working alright, and then I started to do the other end, which, as you can see, is up to that point. If you did watch my last video, you could see what I was doing with that, regards what I was putting inside it. The pressure filter here, as you can see, I've just got it running out of that one there. Obviously I couldn't get the other one in back of there. I've got my air pump in there at the moment just for temporary. At the back of here, this is where I'm putting, I've got my UV to put in. As you can see, I'm going to connect it that end. I'm not really concerned that I can't get the bulb out that end, because in the winter I'm going to take it out. And the reason for that I just don't think it needs it in the winter. I'll just take it out, probably preserve the life of it a bit longer, clean it up. This pipe here you've seen before, that fits in there for my drainage. That goes out there for my drainage. This pipe here is what I'm going to feed back from here back to feed water into my UV. I've made it in such a way, sorry about this, made it in such a way that I can take that out of there, and then just here where the pipe and the 90 degree is, I'm going to attach this flexible hose, and that will go round to where the UV goes in the other side. So then I've got a feed which I don't have to mess about with too much. I get the UV out, I put a flexible hose in, and then we take it from there. But at the moment everything seems to be okay in the filter. If you saw my last one, I'd got jack matting. I did have a message, I think it was from Shane at Hertz Koi, that I ought to put a bit of filter floss in top. And looking at that, it looks like I need to put a couple of holes in the lid to help it drain away. But hopefully, it's got alpha grog in it, it's got enough weight. I was a bit worried yesterday with the winds we had in Nottinghamshire. I was a bit worried that it might blow it over, but there is enough weight in there just to keep it as it is. The fish, as I say, just a couple flashing. It's I do normally treat at the beginning of the year anyway. I'm giving them one feed a day, but what I've also done, I've installed the system, which I know it looks a bit naff, but that blue pipe there feeds a flow of water across underneath there, and when I put my auto feeder in, it actually blows the food that way. I was thinking of putting a pipe on this filter to just drive it along as well, but we'll see. It worked all right last year, you know, with the other filter. But it gives them something to swim into, and they do, very often they do go into it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take you around the front and show you what I've done with my front pond. Right, as you can see, what I've done here, I've moved my other pressure filter from the back. I couldn't get it in to use it, so I've moved it into here. It's probably a bit overkill, but it's putting enough water through there, I think. If I wanted more in, I could turn this fountain system down. It's got a little regulator on the bottom. I have put a bit of greenery in it, but not a lot, because they'd only got that at the shop. I want a bit more, but now I'll show you why I've put the greenery in, because I've had some new arrivals. I got these last Friday. Let me see if I can get you a better picture. That piece of plastic in there is 4 inches or 10 cm. It just shows how big the fish are. But there they are. I got these from Derbyshire Koi at South Normanton, and they took me fancy when I first saw them, because I didn't know I could get fish as small as this, and I thought I'd have a go and see if I can bring them on. I'm going to pause you a minute and see if I can get a better picture. Unfortunately, I can't really find a really good spot to film them, but there are 6. I don't know what they are, but I've tried to get 6 different ones. I do quite like the silver one with the yellow tips to his fins and his tail, but as I say, I wanted to try this. I really want to bring them on from this small if I can. As I say, I don't like buying fish that somebody else has already done the work on. So they weren't a lot of money, so we're going to give it a go. And thanks to Nigel at Derbyshire Koi for, when we were picking them out, he actually noticed one of the fish had got a damaged fin, and said, no, I'm not like you don't want that one, that's going to take some healing up. So good of him to do that. I probably would have missed it, because I think I was just picking the colours as much as anything, but hoping I'd got the different varieties. So we'll see how these get on. I'll get them back into the front pond, and hopefully I'll be in touch with you all again in the next week, because I should have my filter system finished. And thank you for watching. I'm sorry they're a bit up and down, but having to move these about and one thing and another, a bit awkward. So thank you very much, and see you again.